basically, I think that we know a lot about psychological contracts already. I mean, we've been studying this concept for 20 years, but still there are so many gaps. Most importantly, I guess, in how to approach psychological contracts in practice. How can we manage psychological contracts? How can we actually use it to help people at the workplace? And that's where research is really needed, and that's where organizations can really help. Not just us, but also themselves, because eventually this information will help them to help their employees and become a better company.
I think organizations can benefit a lot from participating in psychological contract research, primarily because it gives a good insight into what employees expect, what employees think they should do for their organization, but also the extent to which employees see fulfillment of the psychological contract. So what the organization actually does in terms of how the employees perceive it. So it gives very practical tools for organizations to adapt their HR policies and practices.
I strongly encourage organizations to participate in research related to organization psychological contracts. Thank you.
I would invite all employers to really participate in psychological contract research. We need to know much more about it. There's new organizational structures developing. There's new ways of working together. Self-employed people are coming in. We're doing project management organizations. Leadership is changing. So there's a wide world out there, and there's so much change in that impacts that relationship that we don't fully understand yet. So please reach out and help us with helping you understand more about the psychological contract. Thank you and have a great day.
Because, well, for me personally, I think it's more specific than the vague ideas of employment relationship. It kind of forces us to really look at specific things. PC psychological contract is very vague if you don't really know what's behind it, but you can operationalize this, you can translate this in ways that you can really look at specific points for specific groups of employees within the organization. And that's, I think, one of the big advantages of this kind of research tool is that you can actually show people parts of processes instead of just talking about this big thing called employment relationship.
So I would urge organizations to participate in research on psychological contract or even on related ideas, because you're likely to find out something you didn't know. Most of the time as managers, when we make decisions, we think we know what we're doing. We're trying to be very rational, very clear-headed, but we don't know what it is we're missing, and we don't know what we think is true that really isn't. So data can help make better and more informed, more useful decisions, and you're going to get that from research.
And finally, in my experience, it helps organizations quite a lot when they have an understanding of what the ideas of employees about these mutual obligations are, because you can use that information in your strategic management policy, and it can help you to improve the performance of the organization.
We can't conduct research on psychological contracts or any other important, interesting factors unless we have the cooperation of organizations, because we really do need for our results to be generalizable to the people who are going to benefit from them most. As such, it's very important for organizations to open their doors to researchers so that we can do our work with the end goal of helping them to be more profitable, to have better relationships with their employees, to have happier employees. That's it.
A couple of reasons. Firstly, because whenever we as researchers do this level of research in an organisation, it is the highest quality. We're not consultants coming in and just doing a quick job based on a formula survey that's been conducted for many others in the past. No, these surveys or interviews or the research that we do is tailored specifically around a research question and around your organisation. So it's going to be a bigger research question than most of the consultants that you'll have come in. However, most of us are consultants, so you get not just a commercial degree in quality, but you get that richness of the academic and scholarly information behind it. So you employer organisations can really benefit from what we can bring to your table. We always report back our results. We never just take the data and run. We always report it back to you. Might take a little longer. You're not going to get a 2-week turnaround, but we will give you really high quality results and reporting and feedback on how your employees view their relationship, and their managers too, if you let us talk to them. But secondly, it's about building that body of knowledge and contributing to the society. All of us, most of us are involved in the world of work, and we need to keep growing what we know about the world of work. As my colleagues say, the world of work is changing, constantly changing, and there are more and more research questions, more and more elements that we need to start addressing and can keep addressing as the world changes.
The reason for anyone to participate in psychological contract research essentially is that it's going to help employment relationships, and more happy employment relationships means more better work and more happy people. And if you focus on the employees particularly, in many organisations they're the people that really add value, and good psychological contracts, good employment deals really add value to the activities that go on, and everyone benefits from that.